What's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm down at Street Side Classics and we get to take a look at this 1971 Dodge Challenger RT. So huge shout out to them for providing this vehicle for me today. Make sure you guys check out their website because they have a lot of awesome pre-owned inventory. All the info is down in the description. The Challenger that you see behind me is finished off in plum crazy purple, and it had an original MSRP between $2,700 and $3,200. If you adjust for inflation, that's around 18 to 20 grand, and now this one is being listed for right around $74,000. And so now moving on to the engine for this Dodge Challenger, there were a few standard engine options that you could get ranging from 198 to 383 cubic inches, and then there were a few high performance engines. This has one of those. This is the 440 cubic inch V8 paired with the 5-speed manual transmission, and it pumps out 385 horsepower and 330 pound-feet of torque. All of that power is sent to the rear wheels. This weighs in right around 3,000 pounds. It can do 0 to 60 in just over 5 seconds, up to its top speed of 150, and it also has a fuel capacity of 18 gallons. This has a wheelbase of 110 inches. Its overall length is 191.3. It has a width of 76.1 and a height of 51.2 inches. So as we work our way to the exterior for this Dodge Challenger, let's start off with these hood pins on both sides. So back in the day, this was very common for muscle cars. You didn't have an interior hood release like you do on modern cars. So in order to open up this hood to gain access to that engine, you pulled both of the pins on each side, and then you reach somewhere in the grille for the hood release, and then from there you could easily open up the hood. Gives it a really cool look. On modern cars, some of them aren't functional, but on this vehicle here, they are absolutely functional and look very cool at the same time. And on the top of the hood real quick, you'll see the hood scoops on both sides with RT right in the middle. And then as we work our way down to the grille, for the 71-year model, they made some changes compared to the previous generations. So you'll see that the headlights are a little bit smaller. The grille was actually widened. You can see how narrow it is, giving it a really cool appearance. And you can see the entire surround is finished off in chrome. That was something that was very popular back in the day. You can also see the headlights are the outermost circle, the high beams are right in the middle, and then the turn signal is down below, where you also see a little bit of an air dam. So we had some better aerodynamics for this model. You can see all the cutouts down below, as well as up in the grille too. So we did have some aerodynamic functions, especially for this being a muscle car. Really cool front end design. As we work our way to the side now, right off the bat, you can see the white stripe with RT. Really nice combo against this crazy plum purple. This also had power brakes. You'll also notice too that the wheels had a combination of brushed and chrome, just to give it a really nice look. You can see more of that chrome surrounding the fender arches as well. It's also up on the side mirrors and the door handles. It even surrounds the window trim too. I think it's a really nice combo though. Definitely looks great even with the amount of chrome. You'll see it's on the fuel cap too. And then as we work our way to the back, this has a pretty massive fixed wing. You can see it's finished off in black. Really cool to see that. There's also these vents that run down the back side of the window. You can see there's some pins, which I do believe this is removable, or you can flip it up for whatever reason. I'm not exactly sure why, but I'm not going to mess with that today. Definitely gives it that cool, sporty design. You'll see we have the thin taillights, which match up front. More of the chrome. You'll see body colored purpled down in the lower section too, and we have that quad tip exhaust. I'm going to start it up here soon so that we can hear this V8 come to life. And so there's a look at the exterior for this 71 Dodge Challenger. Now they only made around $4,500 for the RT model compared to around $23,000 for the normal coupes. So just a little bit of information on that. But now let's go ahead and take a look at the interior. So we have the release handle. You just have to pull up just like that. And you'll notice on the door panel here, we have some really nice materials along with the wood trim. You can see the lock and unlock. All you have to do is push on this and pull it back up to lock and unlock. Pretty interesting to see. We have chrome on the release handle, and then we even have the roll-up window. So just by turning on this, you can see that window go up and go down, of course. You don't see that in modern cars, of course. And then we have the side mirror adjustment. So you can actually use this like a joystick and just push the mirror wherever you need it. So that made it really easy to adjust. Pretty plain and simple door panel though. Aside from that, you'll see there's more chrome on the door sill there. And then look at these seats. It's a really nice combo against the exterior purple, having these white leather seats. You'll see Challenger RT down on the carpeted floor mat. And then we have the ginormous wooden steering wheel right in the middle. And so now it's time to work our way to the interior. And at 5'10", it's a little bit tricky to get in. I just have to move my thighs up underneath the steering wheel there. But once I'm in, you can see the 3-spoke design for the steering wheel along with the wood finish there. We have the grab handle, so we can go ahead and shut the door. And now let's fire this up. So we have the ignition over on the right side there. With my foot on this very, very heavy clutch, I'll push that in and we can go ahead and bring this to life. And as you just heard, this is a very, very good sounding V8 engine. So as we work our way to the gauge cluster here, you'll see it's finished off with this wood trim on the backing. Definitely gives it a great look. Over on this left side, you can see the headlights. All you had to do was push this up just like that. We have the wiper washer and a panel dimmer too. So for the gauge cluster there, pretty interesting to see. We also have all of the AC controls. So this did have AC. We have the fan, your adjustment, along with your heat too. And this even had a foot brake. So we have that here. The brake release is up top. This is the 5-speed manual, so you can see all of those pedals. We have the turn signal too, along with your miles per hour, your tach, your fuel gauge, along with some other vitals, along with the time right in the middle. We also have some radio adjustments here. Pretty simple, but it gives you everything that you needed when you were getting this out on the road. Of course, we have the ignition. Also, an interesting fact with this key too, in order to get it out of the ignition, you had to depress this lever to turn the key. So I could come back to here, I'd have to push that down to go the rest of the way, and then you could take the key out. Just a safety feature or safety function from back in the day. Pretty interesting to see that. And then we have the 5-speed manual with the pistol grip. Pretty interesting to see that. Can't wait to get this out on the road and show you guys how that works. We also have an ashtray right in the middle here, and then the glove box, you just turn this. You can see there's a little bit of storage, and you had to lock it back into place. We have leather on the dash here. It even makes its way to the headliner, where we have the sun visors, no mirrors on them like you see in most modern cars. And real quick, I wanted to show, we have the original build sheet from 1971. I'm not exactly sure all of this information here. It's a little bit hard to read, but it's pretty cool to see that. So from 1971, this has been kept with the vehicle. Pretty interesting to see that. You'll see that Challenger RT logo again, finished off in the same purple, so that's pretty neat. We don't have a center console. We have the lap belts too to buckle up. And then this also had back seats, and you'll see there's no obstructions to the back seat. So you could climb through the middle if you wanted to, or you could push on this silver button down on the driver's seat, and it's a little bit hard to do with one hand, but from there you could move that backrest. So that way you could climb into the back seats this way. And as I said up front, you have the lap seat belts, so you don't have the one that goes across your shoulder like in modern vehicles. I have a little bit of room. We have the same windows here, so you could crank those up or roll them back down. My head's up just against the headliner here, but I could be back here, go for a cruise if I needed to. We have two other seats here, and they're kind of squishy, a little bit comfortable. We have, it looks like an ashtray on both sides of some kind, along with an armrest. And here's just another view out of the back. So from outside the car, it doesn't look like you have a lot of visibility, but from inside the car, you can clearly see out. Even though we have those steps kind of going down there, still a lot of visibility. And then last up for this Dodge Challenger, we'll take a look at the trunk storage. Now there's no interior release, there's no button, there's no smart key, any key fob. We had another separate key in order to get into the trunk. So all you had to do was insert this, turn it to the right, and it would automatically pop up just a little bit, and then you could grab it the rest of the way. And you'll see for a muscle car like this, we even have the spare tire. There's a lot of room where you can put a lot of items. There's also a lot of exposed areas. Unlike modern vehicles today where you kind of hide most of that, we have everything exposed, which is really neat to see. We have a mat on the floor here so you could place your items there, but honestly, a lot of space. This is a pretty wide vehicle, so you could pack in a lot of items, even with 4 people in the back. And then from here, we could just pull it down, lock it into place, and remove the key. All right, so now that we're behind the wheel of this Dodge Challenger, I'm gonna go ahead and roll up the last window as I have all the other ones up, so that way you can hear me. These seats also do adjust. So there's a lever on the side I didn't show. I'm gonna get in a good position because this clutch pedal, you guys, I wish you could be in this car to feel how heavy this is. It actually takes a little bit of muscle to push down. It's always interesting. I drive so many modern vehicles, pretty much all of the new models, that every time I get behind the wheel of one of these cars, it's very interesting to see how far technology has come. We've been in a lot of the newer Hellcat Challengers, which we're actually going to review. Oh man. The one time I do that, it's on camera. And I'm not going to be driving this too far today. But this pistol grip is something else. That's what I kind of like about these older vehicles, is they have so much character to them, and obviously not as many safety features as modern cars have today. But this was a car that you actually had to drive. Like, you had to put in the work. This clutch pedal, if you did leg day or you have a bad left knee or bad leg, it's hard now. It's hard to push this clutch in. So it gives you a lot more of basically driver feedback. You actually have to drive this vehicle. There's no downshifting in the rev matches there unless you drive this every day and you can get the hang of it. To me, I don't think I'm going to be able to do that today. Woo! That's just a very, very mild acceleration. The steering wheel, as big as it is, it's actually not in my way. I was thinking it was going to be a little bit hard to drive. You can definitely feel a little bit here in that steering. It's pretty direct. I mean, it's a little bit vague, but it's definitely interesting. Let's try to get to fourth. Alright, so I'm going to switch over to the POV angle so that way you can see what it's like to be behind the wheel of this. But even though I'm just in the parking lot here, this is fun to drive. I could see this being fun, you know, taking it to car shows, things like that. Reverse is actually easy to get into as well. It's over and to the right there. Now you don't have any backup camera, no sensors or anything. And so now that we're in the POV angle here, you can get a look at this dash here with the steering wheel right in my lap. Very interesting compared to vehicles today. And I have to have the seat all the way forward so I can get my foot to push this clutch in. It is so heavy. But we're into first gear there. Just got to get used to that clutch engagement there. All right. So here's second. Third. It's just a really cool car. It's so much different than a modern manual. The brake and the gas pedal are pretty far apart, so if you wanted to try to rev match, you just have to get used to it with the pedal placement. You know, I haven't put too many miles on it, so it's not something I can get used to right away. But we'll turn around here and give it a little bit more of an acceleration. Woohoo! That is definitely fun. It's not crazy loud. Of course, I can only do so much today. But last one for today. Definitely a very cool car. Again, it's not every day you get to be in an older vehicle like this. So again, huge shout out to Street Side Classics for providing this old school muscle car for me today. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure you give it a huge thumbs up and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads. And I'll see you guys in the next video.